Hi, hello. I just completed a bike trip where I rode my bike all the way down the west coast of the United States from Vancouver, Canada, all the way down to Tijuana, Mexico. And I wanted to share some of my takeaways or perhaps things that may be helpful to you if you are considering your own bike trip. First, huge caveat, I should let you know that I was fortunate enough to not have to carry my own gear. My wife actually drove along the way and carried our tent and all of my extra clothing and stuff like that. Most bikers, when they're doing this journey, will carry all of their own stuff in panniers. So I was blessed with having a much lighter load. I also had access to a vehicle in case I needed to go somewhere off trail or go to a bike shop if my bike broke down, which happened quite a lot actually. So that was very, very helpful, and I realized not everyone has the opportunity to have someone else carry your load for you. Okay, number one thing I want to say is you can do it. This may sound like false modesty, but I do not consider myself an especially athletic person. I've always been terrible at sports. I have no stamina when it comes to running. When I was riding on this trip at the very start, I was not prepared for the amount of steep hills I encountered, and I found myself constantly out of breath and taking breaks and wondering, what did I sign myself up for? But as the trip went along, of course, I developed more and more stamina, and my body got used to pedaling for miles and miles every day. It's a lot of work, but I believe that you can start from the shape that you're in and you can do a long trip like this. Number two is you might not like it. I got really into cycling because I loved riding on trails and I loved exploring new cities and just riding around town. And there is quite a bit of this on any cross-country bicycle journey, but of course, much of the ride is going to be on the shoulder, on the side of the highway, in the blazing sun, or perhaps in the rain, with cars whizzing by you. While there is tons of adventure and things to see and new experiences on a trip like this, there's also a lot of just long, tedious, arduous, grueling monotony. Number three, do you have your affairs in order? I don't consider myself an especially morbid or pessimistic person, but when I find myself going long stretches on the side of the highway with a narrow shoulder, with cars whizzing by me, I found it almost impossible not to think about what would happen if I got hit by a car. What would happen if I died right now? And that's a reality of this trip. You could die doing this trip. Of course, you should take safety precautions, wear a helmet, have some kind of reflective gear. I wore a reflective vest and I had lights on the front and back of my bike. Do as much as you can to make yourself visible, but of course, you don't have a ton of control over whether or not someone's going to accidentally swerve and hit you. So are you prepared to die? Whatever that means to you. Have you set up a will? Have you told your loved ones that you love them? It's something that I thought about quite a bit on the trip, and it's something that you should take into consideration if you're serious about doing this. Number four, shit's expensive. So I had my ambitions for how I was going to make this trip as frugal as possible. And of course, I ended up spending way more money than I was planning on. A lot of it was simply indulgence on my part. I found myself saying, hey, they have vegan burritos here. What if this is my last chance to get a vegan burrito in California? What if I eat out every day because I'm enjoying life, baby. There are so many ways to have a less expensive bike riding experience than what I did. Utilize warm showers and stay with people for free. You can do discreet camping, sleep under the stars and don't get caught. Not eat out at all. Rice and beans, beans and rice. There will always be some kinds of unforeseen expenses. Maybe your bike breaks down and it's 50 miles to the nearest bike shop and you need to get a ride there somehow. Maybe it's raining for the third night in a row and you're really sick of camping in the rain and you want to get a hotel. So however expensive you plan on this trip being, just plan on it being more expensive than that. Finally, number 5 is find some way to make this trip your own. I had these stickers made, so I printed a bunch of these off and I would give them to people along the way. And I would place them on signs and walls, any place that I saw along the trail that was already littered with stickers, right? So I didn't start the graffiti, okay? But if there was graffiti already present, I did contribute to it. It was also a great icebreaker for me, a great way to meet people. Every time I got in conversation with someone, or if someone asked about my bike or my journey, or when I was at the shop and getting things fixed, I would always hand people stickers as a way of saying, hey, it's nice to meet you, and I appreciate you, and this is the story of me and my journey. And it was always so fun to see them come to the realization that, oh, hey, free sticker. Oh, wait, is that you? Oh, did you draw that? So it was just a cool thing to like express myself, I guess, as someone who likes riding bikes and is also an illustrator. Feel free to steal this idea if you want, but also I would encourage you to get creative and do your own thing. Find something that is uniquely you and incorporate it onto your bike trip. Final takeaway is if you're even thinking about doing a bike trip like this, you should just do it. Point number 1 is you can do it, and I know that life is busy and it's not a good time right now, and there are many, many obstacles to doing it. It's a difficult thing. For me, it was very, very much worth it. I think it'll be worth it for you. So I want to encourage you to make this dream a reality. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Everything's gonna be alright.